When you start living with the end in mind, everything starts to change. What are people going to say about you? What message is your life going to speak when you're long gone? Because you weren't born by accident. You didn't just happen to be where you're at and happen to watch this video. There is always a reason.
Well, welcome to the Fuse Life podcast. This is episode 137. We are pushing the pace. We are all about God-given assignments, about purpose. No one is on the planet by accident, and God has divinely designed you for a reason and has divinely deployed you onto the earth in 2023 for a reason. You're here for a reason. So while everything goes crazy around the world, do not forget that you're here for a reason. You have a purpose. God has a plan. He's working something out in and through you. And as a body, as the body of Christ, we need you. We need you in that place, okay? So today's conversation is the purpose seed, and there'll be many other conversations we do around purpose, but one of the myths or one of the confusing factors around purpose is that a lot of people believe that purpose is somewhere out there and I need to go and find it. And so they go on overseas experiences. They go on these journeys trying to find their purpose out there. What can I do? Where am I going to do it? Who am I going to do it with? And we miss the fact that actually purpose has always been in you since you were made, since you were created before the foundation of the world, when you were fearfully and wonderfully made in your mother's womb, when you were knit in your mother's womb. God put purpose in you at that time. So your purpose is actually not somewhere out there. It's been in you since the beginning and will be in you till you are done. And your purpose, important to remember, it's not what you do, it's who you are. And some of you have heard that training, purpose equals I am, right? It's who I am. It's not what I do, that framework. If you haven't, you can check the comments section and you'll see a free training where you can go into that. Purpose is who I am. It's not what I do. But one of the mistakes that people make is they think it's out there. So they go looking and they're constantly looking for what they're going to do. And they're never sure if what they're doing is right. You know, so I'd like to propose to you that when you know who you are and you understand the seed, the purpose seed that's in you, the doing is easy. The doing is fun. The doing is a byproduct. And so I'm already assuming a few things as we talk about watering the purpose seed is that you understand your identity, who you are in God, who God is in you is the most important element of your walk with God, right? Of your life. Out of that identity flows many assignments. There are many assignments for you to complete. If you know your current assignment, let me know in the comments. I'd love to see if you have an idea of your current assignment. Let me know in the comments, okay? So this purpose seed that's been in you from the beginning, sadly, what happens is we're looking for it out there, we don't find it, and people just move from one thing to another, never fully sure if that's really what God has for them. Another thing that happens is people might have an idea of what their purpose is in the sense that they might have an idea of their gifts, of their talents, things God's put in them, what he's calling them to, but they keep comparing their seed to someone else's tree. So to give you an example, I know God's called me to coach, he's called me to speak, right? Motivational speaking is all part of this stuff. But a few years back, I was through a live video, actually, it must have been like 5 years back now, 6 years back. I had somebody come on my live video and tell me why I didn't have the right to do this, why I wasn't good enough to do this, and tell me that Tony Robbins is doing this. So why am I wasting my time? Because Tony Robbins is much better than me. And in many ways, this guy was right, but in many ways, he was not right. But it made me compare where I was to where Tony Robbins is, and it made me actually stop doing a lot of what I was doing at that time, because I started to subconsciously compare my seed to his tree, my seed to the bigness of the Tony Robbins tree. Okay, I'm going to put this image up. If you're watching this on video, you'll be able to see it. But this image of the purpose seed. So if you look at the seed, like a normal seed that goes into the ground, it gets watered, it gets nurtured, it gets looked after, and then it grows, into like a seedling, then a little tree, a little shrub, a little tree, and then a proper tree that then bears fruit, that has seed that goes back into the ground. And when you understand that purpose is like a seed within you that needs some nurturing, needs some watering, needs a good environment so that it can grow into this tree, you start to see a lot of people compare their seed to someone else's tree. And so they never step into what's in front of them. So for example, before I started to do events where I'm speaking to 50, 100 people, where I'm doing things online that may reach 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people, before I was doing that, my purpose seed looked like me operating in the same thing with one person, right? With two people. A seed, what's in front of me, doing something with what's in front of me. And so many people don't water their seed, don't nurture their seed, don't nurture their current setting, their current seedling, little shrub, little tree, all waiting, thinking that one day I'm just going to have this tree. One day I'm just going to have this impact in the world. One day I'm just going to write those big books that are going to change lives. One day I'm going to start that business and it's going to be amazing. One day I'm going to start that charity and it's going to be great. One day I'm going to start that ministry. And we have that thought process that I'm just going to go from seed to big tree one day. And I'd like to propose to you that that's not how it works, that there is a process, there is a journey. The seed must evolve, grow into the tree. That seed cannot skip that process and become a tree out of nowhere. And so this purpose seed, understanding that within you, purpose has already been sitting. When God made you, he put within you everything that you need to walk this out. Your assignments out. Understanding that then means if you will water it, nurture it, give it a good environment, allow the sun to shine, right? The sun, S-U-N, and the sun, S-O-N, to shine on this environment, your seed will grow really healthily, really well, really fast into your next phases. Most people don't spend the time watering their seed, just dreaming, wishing, hoping for the tree. And that is not how it works, my friends. So what is your purpose seed? What is your current assignment? Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas of what your current assignment might be. What is in front of you that God's calling you to engage? And are you watering that seed? Are you nurturing that seed? So what would watering the seed be like? Watering the seed would look like you intentionally spending time engaging different parts of that purpose. So as a coach, as a speaker, right? I know that I have certain gifts, I have certain talents, you have certain gifts, you have certain talents, and I have certain ways of thinking, certain things in my heart that God has put. So watering my seeds of my gifts and my talents look like me learning how to be a good coach, me studying how to be a good coach, me practicing coaching. I start with what's in front of me. Me practicing speaking. I start with what's in front of me. So many people I meet want to grow their impact, what God has called them to do. They know they're called to go online. They know they're called to have a tribe. They know they're called to have influence, but they won't release videos because only 5 people are going to watch them at the beginning. All right. If you go to my Instagram, you go to my YouTube, you're going to see very, very small numbers. And all right, watering your seed has nothing to do with the numbers. It has everything to do with I am going to be faithful with what's in front of me. So watering my seed for me looks like becoming a better coach, becoming a better communicator, knowing what I'm talking about, being able to actually help people go from point A to point B. Right? In the next little month, you're going to see at least 50 stories of different people that I have journeyed with that went from one place to another place, that lives have changed, they have transformed. You're going to see these 50 stories. So I have been developing my seed, watering my seed to get better at what I do. A lot of people don't spend that time. One of the common misconceptions, especially for a believer, is that, oh, God will just do it. If God wants me there, he will just get me there. I'd like to propose to you that we've talked about maturity and how God opens doors for you as you mature. One of the things around maturity is that you are competent. competent, meaning you are good at what you do. Jesus was good at what he did. And every person in the Bible that you see going through these cycles, God matured them in character, in nature, in likeness, but also in competence, right? They matured in their gifting, but they also grew in competence. And this is an element as a believer that you will need to water, your competence, right? So when I first started this journey 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was not that good at coaching. I could do it. I was good at it, but I am a much better coach today than at that time. Today, in half an hour, I can narrow into someone's real root issue and help them shift in half an hour, right? Before that might have taken me an hour and a half. But watering my purpose seed has caused it to grow and evolve fast. It's caused it to accelerate. Another thing that you need to know when you have a purpose seed that you are wanting to evolve is that you put it into the right environment. I am in the right environment. What's my environment? I'm online, right? I am putting myself out there in places where I'm getting invited to speak. I'm in the environment where the seed can be nurtured. I am constantly putting myself in the environment. So, for example, this morning, I did not have to come on here and do a live video. In reality, nobody cares if I do this video, right? To a big extent. If I stop doing videos, nobody's necessarily going to come and chase me up and be like, you better do your videos, right? Right? Maybe some people would say, hey, we miss those videos. It's great when you speak, when you share. I love it. But nobody's coming to check that. That's on me. So I have this choice of putting myself in this environment or not. I put myself in environments of coaching where I have other coaches who are sharing and teaching and training online, and I learn from them. Right? I'm putting myself in an environment where I'm around people that are doing things, not just talking stuff, but actually doing stuff. So the environment of your seed matters. Are you putting yourself in environments where you can grow? Most people are around people that don't do anything. And if you are around people that don't do anything, that don't challenge the status quo, that aren't interested in growing, maturing, evolving, actually doing what God's called them to do, if you are around people like that all the time, chances are you won't move into what God has for you. Jesus grabs these disciples and he pulls them out of their current environment into a brand new one. And the new environment is him, these disciples who are all moving. It becomes normal for them to move, to obey God and expect God to move. It becomes normal for them to see miracles. It becomes normal for them to be in this journey of maturing. So your environment matters. So number one, we talk about competence is developed when you water the seed, but then the conditions of your seed, the environment of your seed matters. Are you putting yourself in the right environments? Right? We have a group called Royal Hybrids. There's about 66 people in there now, and that's going to keep growing. We are a bunch of people that are all on the same journey, developing our lives, spirit, soul, body, heart, like holistic life, but also walking out what God's called us to do. That environment causes people to go places, to do things, to move in a way that they couldn't do alone. And so your environment matters. So your seed has water, your seed has an environment. Now your seed needs the right nurturing. The nurturing, your seed needs warmth. It needs sunlight. It needs the sun to shine on it. And in our case, the seed needs S-O-N, the Son of God, to shine on it. Jesus shining on your seed. This is where suddenly you're allowing the Lord to do what he wants to do on your assignment, through your assignment. All right. Did you know that in Exodus 31, Moses is getting the tabernacle built, and there's all these physical builders, artisans that are using their hands. They're builders. But the Bible said that they had the spirit of wisdom. The spirit of wisdom came on. They had the supernatural spirit of wisdom come on them to build. Now, most of us would think, well, why do you need wisdom to build? Maybe you need some strength, some might, but why do you need wisdom to build? I would like to propose to you, when God gets involved in your assignments, there is supernatural help. And there is the 7 spirits of God in Isaiah 11, right? Isaiah 11 or Isaiah 2, I always get them mixed up. But the 7 spirits of God, they all become a part of your assignments. So now while I'm coaching, as I'm training and practicing, allowing God to be as part of this coaching journey, to be here, suddenly the prophetic is activated. Suddenly words of knowledge are activated. Suddenly my words are not just good sounding words to the ears, but my words become arrows that pierce the heart, that go through the soul. Suddenly my words become seeds that start to go into someone's heart and bear fruit. Suddenly my words go with the grace of God, with the Spirit of God, to cause change and transformation in someone. I'm no longer a normal coach now, because the sun is shining on my assignment. Watering your purpose seed. So you got the water, where you are taking time and developing your competence. Right? 2, you got the environment, where you are staying in the right conditions, the people around you, the places where you're going to. You don't waste your time on stuff. And then number 3, you got the sun shining on you. You got the sun shining on you. Supernatural empowerment, supernatural acceleration, supernatural results. The other day, I got a message from someone that told me that while we were doing a coaching call, she got healed. She had chronic pain in her body. And when we were doing the coaching call, we weren't talking about her pain. I didn't even know she was feeling pain. We were just going on a coaching journey. But as we finished the call, she realized that her pain had gone. When the sun is shining on you, when the Son of God is shining on you, things happen that are beyond your ability. And they're amazing. And you can't take any credit for it, and neither can I. But he's just marking our journey with his presence. And so I want to encourage you, watering your purpose seed. Have you ever thought about your purpose seed? Have you ever thought about watering it, nurturing it, being in the right conditions, allowing God to be a part of your current assignment? So what does it look like when you go to work today as a builder, as a tradie, as a counselor, as a therapist, as a coach, as a cleaner, right? As a barista, as a janitor? What does it look like to go there with the sun shining on you while you are watering your seeds? You know, I was a personal trainer from 2012 to 2020. And when I was a personal trainer, I was learning how to coach people. I was learning how to develop people. I was learning how to take someone who couldn't do one push-up to where they could do 20 at a time. I was learning how to take somebody who couldn't run 1 kilometer to where they could run 3 to 5. Right? I was taking someone who didn't know how to do squats, who had bad biomechanics, and teaching them how to do a squat in a healthy way with no pain. Right? And so I was watering my coaching ability, my seed in that current assignment by becoming a better coach. And I had no idea that at that time that was going to help me with what I do today. Today, I can take someone who has no belief in themselves to a point where they can write a book and start an online channel and start releasing videos. Right? I learned that as a personal trainer, training somebody how to do the next push-up. So whatever you are in right now, God is wanting to use that. Will you water that seed? If you're making coffees and interacting with people, God is training you in something there. Right? If you're a nurse, if you're a surgeon, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, whatever it is, God is doing something there. He is doing something in that place, watering the seed and you becoming more competent. Then secondly, what does it look like in your environment to stay rooted and grounded in the purposes of God? Right? I don't make decisions today that are going to pull me away from my assignment, that are going to pull me away from the purpose I see God using me for. Right? My seed has been developed to a point where now it's a decent sized small tree. It's still not a massive tree, but it's a tree where I can see, okay, I'm a mobilizer. Right? Everywhere I go, I'm going to mobilize people. I'm going to encourage them to move. I'm going to give them tools to move. I can't be in an environment that doesn't help people move to the next phase. That is in me everywhere I go. What are you? What has he called you to? And as you water the seed, you will start to see this. You will start to see this. I could spend 20 minutes with someone, 30 minutes with someone, and their whole perspective of life changes. They're motivated, they're inspired, right? They're mobilized to take action. But that's what's in me, what's inside you, right? So whatever job you're in, whatever you're up to right now, God is using that. Water the seed intentionally, become better at it, engage it. But while you're doing that, stay in the condition, right? Stay in the place. I see people who move from A to B, B to C, C to D, new job every 3 months, new assignment that they didn't finish. They just jump from one thing to another, hoping that something will happen instead of staying in the conditions. So when I get offered things that have nothing to do with mobilizing, that have nothing to do with purpose, people's purpose, and empowering people to move into what God has for them, when I get invited into places where that's not happening, I already know that is not part of my journey. I already know that is not my lane. And so it helps me make good decisions, right? I stay in the conditions where my purpose seed can grow and evolve into a tree. And then the third thing, I am constantly engaging Holy Spirit, engaging Jesus, engaging Father. I am interacting to allow heaven to manifest on earth in and through me. I allow God to speak to me about certain situations, certain things, and influence me to then release whatever He is doing in my assignment, in my place of influence. All right, so if you've been listening to me, we need to do some homework here. There's always action steps, right? As a coach, I like to encourage people to take action. You got to move. So here is a question I have for you is, what is your purpose seed? Right? What is inside you that you know God has put and is using right now? So that's question number one. What is your purpose seed? Right? Two, what are the places He's calling you to? Right? What are the places and who are the people that He's calling you to? When you're in the wrong place with the wrong people, I can guarantee you will be going the wrong direction. And then the last thing is, how much are you allowing Him to be a part of that assignment? Right? There are people that think, oh, well, I'm a surgeon, so when I go to work, I do my surgery. That has nothing to do with God. There are people that think, oh, well, I'm a therapist, I'm a counselor, I'm a psychologist. I rely on my intellect. I rely on my knowledge. I've studied this for 10, 20, 30 years. I know all about it. And don't realize that they don't let God be a part of any of their journey. This is where we must shift from churchy thinking to kingdom thinking, right? Churchy thinking, we separate our lives. We have a spiritual life, and then we have family life, then we have work life, and then we have physical life. We like to separate everything in churchy thinking. But in the kingdom, everything is in the kingdom. Everything is part of a life. And if you allow the Lord to be a part of your life like that, life becomes so much fun. There's so much acceleration, so much growth. All right, so watering your purpose seed, something for you to think about. And in the comments, in the caption, you'll see a link to some of our group coaching that we do. You might want to check that out. You might want to jump on as part of this journey. But this new podcast season is exciting. Remember to share this with people that you know are on this journey, and like, subscribe, all that good stuff on YouTube. And I will see you on the next one.